Hello, I'm Courtney. What's up and welcome to Book Talk. Today I'm going to be discussing Never Always Sometimes by Alsaid. If you do not know what this book is about two best friends named Dave and Julia, and before they started their freshman year of high school, they make this list called the Nevers, and they list down 10 things they would never do in high school. And so now it is 4 years later, they're about to graduate, they're seniors, and one day Dave finds this letter, like the list, in his locker, and Julia's like, you know what? How about we do all 10 of these nevers before school ends? And so it's just Dave and Julia's adventures doing all 10 of the nevers, and they may or may not, kind of fall in love, and it's nice, it's just really fun. I really enjoyed this book. I had a really fun time reading it. It was a fun, quick, cute, little contemporary read. I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars on GOODREADS, and I gave it about a 96%, and just it was so good. If you have not read Never Always Sometimes and you do not want to be spoiled, I would leave now because I am about to go into a spoilery discussion. So bye, not spoiling people, and read the book. Bye. Isn't the cover so pretty? I love it so much. So first I'm going to talk about part 1, which is called Dave. So part 1 is told through the eyes of Dave, and I really like this part. Even though this part took me the longest to read, I enjoyed it the most because in the other two parts we get drama and stuff, and I didn't really like that, but I like Dave. I think I liked Dave the best. Even though I love Julia and all, I don't know, I just like Dave better. I think Dave was just I just liked him. I don't know, I just like Dave better, okay? And so I really enjoyed this part. I thought it was really fun. It was about 166 pages. That's not really that bad. I mean, I think that was the longest part in this book though, but I really liked it. I liked when they found the letter in his locker and stuff. I loved it when they're doing the never dyeing your hair. So Julia dyes her hair pink and it goes all well, and then he's dyeing his green and it looks like vomit, and all the hair dye's getting on her cat, and just, oh my gosh, that was great. That was one of my favorite scenes in the book. I thought it was hilarious. Another favorite of mine throughout the whole book, there's one of the nevers is to never hook up with a teacher. So Julia has this thing for Mr. Marinuri. I don't know how to say his name, and I forgot who he is. But the guy she was always flirting with and stuff, and I loved it when they go to the poetry slam and she makes a poem about math sex puns, and oh my gosh, I was dying. I was like, this is the best thing. Oh, I found his name. Marorroney. Maroney? That's how I'm gonna say it. But oh my gosh, the math sex puns. Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite parts. That was, it was too good to be true. I was just like, this is what my life has, I've been looking, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It was just that good of a scene. I loved that. I really liked part 1. I thought it was really fun. A really great way to start off the book, and I liked that we have a prologue, and we get a background about the nevers, and before they start high school and stuff. I really liked that we got that, and I thought part 1 was really fun with them doing all the never stuff and them going to the party and Dave meeting Gretchen. I ship Dave and Gretchen. I never shipped Julia and Dave together. I mean, when they were together, I liked it, but I never shipped it like I did with Dave and Gretchen, and oh, that party was so much fun. I loved it. I just loved them doing the nevers. I just love the plot of this book. Like, it sounds so, oh, it's so good. And I feel like this book needs to be a movie because it would just be so much fun to watch on the big screen. But overall, part 1 was wonderful and I loved it. And also at the end, oh, the end was sad. Okay, Julia throws a party and then everyone leaves. They get into a fight because Julia's like drunk because Dave kissed Gretchen and he's like, oh, I like Gretchen. She's like, oh yeah, you're just doing that to become prom king, right? And I'm just like, no. And man, I was so mad at that point. And then they left and now they're not like really friends and that was so sad. But man, okay, I think that was the one thing that upset me. I was just like, Julia, like, can't you tell he actually likes the girl? I mean, he made a move and kissed her and you're just gonna be like, oh, haha, now you're just hanging out with the popular kids, you know, because you want to be prom king stuff. And I was just like, what? And I think this is also the section where they built the treehouse so he could become prom king, like be a prom king candidate. And I loved that. I loved the idea of making a treehouse and I just, oh, that was so cool. But overall, part 1 was really fun and I really liked it. So then we move on to part 2 and this is told through Julia's point of view. And literally, I read this part in like an hour because I was just like flying through it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot stop reading this. And reading the first page of that part, I was just like, you got to be kidding me right now. Because Julia's like, oh, I'm in love with Dave. I've never realized this before. And then she like punches her hand in a wall and oops, I'm sorry. And then she's like getting all drunk and stuff. And I was so upset because Dave has been in love with you for the like past 5 years. And now you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I think I'm in love with Dave too. And then get all drunk about it. Like, why? I think that was the only part that upset me in this book, where she was just like, oh yeah, I'm in love with Dave, and now I'm just realizing, and I was just like, and you, oh man, Julia, I didn't like that part. I was so upset, and I was just like, but why? Why are you now saying this or realizing this? And just, could she not tell that Dave was in love with her? Because I feel like at some points it was kind of obvious where he kind of wanted to, you know, like hold her hand or arm around the shoulder. But, oh, Julia, I didn't like her at that part. That got on my nerves. And just, I only really remember the beginning and the end of part 2. I don't really remember what happened in the middle, but I thought it was so nice when they went on the road trip. And because one of the nevers was to go on a road trip and they go see that guy she likes, like at the concert, and they go on the beach, have all this food and stuff, and then she finally makes a move. She's just like, I love you, Dave. And I was just like, thank God. It took like 239 pages for this to happen, and now it finally did. I was just like, thank you. Thank you, Julia, for finally saying it, because Dave has literally imagined this moment for the past 4 years, and just now it's finally happened. And I was just like, thank you. And also, I'm glad that Julia she didn't hate Gretchen, and like how she would hang out with her, like when Dave, Gretchen, and Julia all hung out on the bench and stuff. I liked that Julia didn't like hate her, and just poor Gretchen, like man, I felt so bad for Gretchen at the end. But Julia, you gotta say how you feel. I can't believe she just realized it after he left. She was like, I love him, and I was just like, wait, what? But overall with this part, even though I was mad at the beginning, then I wasn't mad, and then I was like happy at the end because she said I love you, and that was really nice. I was like, oh, I feel so happy for Dave right now. But then I feel so bad for Gretchen, but overall, good part, but not as good as the first part. And then we go to part 3, which is called Dave and Julia. So we see through both of them throughout this whole part. And, you know, we get to see, I like that we got to see Dave, see Julia say, I love you, how all that went down. And, you know, she said it, and then they start making out. Something I did not mention in part 2, they did one of the nevers of going skinny dipping. They take their clothes off and go into the ocean, and they're both naked. I'm just like, they both like each other. How are they dealing with this? I mean, they're both seeing them naked. They're not even a thing, and just that was so funny. So, you know, they're both like in towels and stuff sitting, and she says it, and then they start making out, and they have sex on the beach, where I was just like, really? Out of all the places to have sex for the first time, you're gonna have it on a beach. Just, that sounds so weird. And like, also there's like cars passing by. Well, maybe if it's like in the middle of the night, then maybe no. But still, I was just like, ugh, having that on the beach, no. So they do that, and I mean, it was nice. I mean, I'm glad they got together and see what it was like to be in a relationship with each other. But I think because their friendship was like so strong, they've known each other for so long, that being in a relationship all of a sudden just kind of threw things off. And things were off. Like, obviously things were gonna be off, and Dave knew that. I don't know about Julia. I think she thought things were all fine, but I was agreeing with Dave. Dave was like, oh yeah, things are off. And I was just like, yeah, they are. I mean, obviously, you've been best friends for 5 years. Obviously, things aren't going to be the same when you can now make out with your best friend. And, man, but okay. The one part that confused me in this book was when they're in the bed talking, and, you know, they're talking about Gretchen, because, you know, Dave's been upset because, you know, they were in the car and they kissed, and then Gretchen was behind them and she went off crying. And I was just like, oh my gosh, no. But they're talking about it, and obviously Dave feels guilty. Like, if he wasn't feeling guilty, I would have slapped him in the face. But I didn't understand. I knew he was guilty, but then he kept talking, and he was like, I don't think I made the wrong choice, but I don't know if I made a choice at all. And I was just like, what does this mean? And then, like, they break up. I mean, did they even establish they were a couple, Dave and Julia? I don't know, I guess they did. But that was so weird. Like, how Dave was like, I don't think I made a choice. And then he was like, I love you, but I don't love you like this. And I was just like, Dave, you've been in love with this girl for the past 5 years, and now you finally get to be with this girl. I can't believe Dave said that. I was just like, dude, you just want the girl of your dreams, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I don't think I want to love you like this. And I was just like, what? And just, don't get me wrong, in the end I'm happy, because I never shipped him with Julia. To be honest, I never really wanted them together. I'm glad they got together to see what it was like to be in a relationship, but I just wanted them to stay friends because their friendship was too good, and I wanted him to be with Gretchen. And I'm so glad she had that talk in the treehouse with Mr. Maroney, and then she was like to Gretchen, you can have him, I don't want him. And then Dave and Gretchen get back together again, and that was so nice. And then I loved the end with prom. Oh, that was so nice. And how Julia came in like a jeans and a tank top, and Dave was in like a tuxedo, and he and Gretchen arrived early because they don't do pictures and limos and stuff. Oh, I love that. It was really nice. And in the end, how they're like, Julia's like, how about we make a list of things we're always gonna do in college? And Dave's like, got a pen and paper, and I was like, oh, I wanted more. I was like, what is this list of always? I want to know. But oh, the ending was nice, and I'm glad Dave and Julia aren't together. I'm sorry, but it's true. I wanted Dave and Gretchen together, but the ending, it was really nice. Like, I was really happy with it, and just, it was so good. So those are my overall thoughts and feels on Never Always Sometimes by Adia Alsaid. I hoped you enjoyed this book talk, and what were your overall thoughts and feels on this book? Did you like it? Did you not? Favorite character? Favorite scene? Just let me know in the comments down below and we can talk all things about Never Always Sometimes. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to watch more book talks, you can click the subscribe button down below. I'm Courtney, and I will see you all next time with a new video up soon, so I will see you then, so goodbye!